Hey guys, Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute Contractors First. I am here tonight on an open mic night, guys. Open mic night. If anybody joins me, they join me. If they don't join me, oh well. This photo right here is one of the very first photos that not very first photos, very first hot water units that I ever gave away. I don't know the exact amount of hot water units that I did give away, but I know that there's a few. There's a few. I remember one year we gave away 3 of them at one show. But anyways, I'm doing this every Sunday night. If nobody shows up tonight, nobody shows up tonight. It's how it is. I've invited some industry guys in here. Everybody that wants to join this, you don't got to be a $20 million a year contractor. If you want to come on, just request and I'll send the link. As a matter of fact, you know what? There's the link right there. It's coming right across. If you guys want to join, you'll come into the deal. You could get on the show here. I'm doing this as an opportunity for there's a lot of guys in the industry that go, well, Ron, all you get are guys on here that are real popular on the internet. You get guys that, maybe are making $25 million annually. I will have a guest on that does, it's verifiable. He does about 72 million annually. I actually have a really close friend of mine that does over $200 million, but I'll see if I can get him on the show. But the reality of it is, guys, is that I don't always want to get guys on the show that are highly successful. I want to get sometimes guys on the show that are just starting out. We can talk about those things that they're having trouble with. A lot of times, when people talk about success or talk about the industry, they always kind of talk about, what it takes to be successful. And I think a lot of times when guys have been in the business for, 41, 35, 25 years, they really forgot what that struggle was like. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember it. I know that I can tell the stories. I know that I didn't go in until I sold a maintenance account. Just kind of this is a story that I've told before, but I'll tell it again right now for the guys that are listening. And like I said, it's an open mic night tonight, guys. I put this in the stream. It's right there. You guys want to actually come on the show and be live, come on in. I don't care who you are. I've invited a bunch of guys. I'm inviting the entire industry. It doesn't matter if I know you or don't know you. We'll get to know you if you want to come on. This is something that I'm doing because I felt that there's an importance for this to get to share the things with other guys, get some other guys on here. There's always value in just about everything that anybody has to say. People always want to talk about the fake guru issue that we've had come up here lately. There's a lot of guys out there that are selling a bunch of nonsense. But if you come out here and you mix it up and you network, the craziest thing in the world is that we always talk about networking is the most important thing. Here we are tonight. We're networking. This is it. We're networking. This is exactly what we're doing here tonight. You want to come on? I want to do this every Sunday. If nobody last week we had a couple guys come on. Nobody comes on this week. Nobody comes on. I'm not worried about it. We'll answer questions. If you guys got questions, fire the questions away. But what I was going to tell you is that when I started out, and I was given the analogy that a lot of guys don't remember when they were building their company up, like the first year, the second year, the third year. And believe me, you're not done building a company up it takes a good 3 to 5 years. Nobody out there is running a company that you can sit there and say it isn't fragile. And I'm sure there's guys now, because to do $1 million now, let's face it, $1 million now is nothing. I mean, when back 20 years ago, if you did $1 million, it was a big deal. Now doing $1 million is nothing. But what I remember from my early on years is that I set my own personal goals, and I would not go in before I sold a maintenance account. I know a lot of guys don't understand what maintenance accounts are. An account that was going to repeat and give me residual income. Somebody that was going to wash weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly. That's what I do. I don't do one and dones, and I don't teach anybody to build a company doing one and dones. I just don't do it. So I would, for myself, I wouldn't go in until I had made the amount of sales that I needed to make for that day. I wouldn't quit. And yes, I was knocking on, and maybe I should have some of those managers come on. I was knocking on general managers' doors as they were closing their restaurants down at 11 o'clock at night. Got to be careful, because back then they were counting cash, but nowadays there's no cash in the building. Everybody's using cards, but you still got to be careful, because it's late at night. So I don't necessarily recommend that somebody uses that strategy, because it's a little dangerous knocking on a back door of a restaurant in the middle of the night. Normally they think you're out there trying to rob them. But I would knock on those doors in the middle of the night, and until I got that sale, I wouldn't go in. And lo and behold, sometimes those sales opportunities came between the hours of 9 p.m. and midnight. And believe it or not, opportunity presents itself. Sometimes those general managers were under a lot of stress because they were under inspections. And the funniest thing in the world is when you actually see a restaurant that looks active, that's closed, but things are going on late at night, they have an inspection the next day. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. You can call and make appointments. We did that too. If you listen to my YouTube videos, we make appointments. But when you run out of appointments and you didn't make sales, and you've got goals that you want to make, you're not going. Appointments don't matter at that point. And I see there'll be a lot of young guys out there that'll go, well, we use Google, we use this electronic stuff. Man, I'm going to tell you something right now. You are not going to build a sustainable business in commercial residual return income business using Google. It's just not going to. It's not going to work. Electronic ads are not going to work. Yes, everybody will tell me, oh, it does work. We've gotten jobs that way. You've gotten jobs. You've gotten like one and done jobs. You might have landed some residual accounts, but you're not. There are literally millions of residual income accounts out there, and you're not going to get those accounts. Nobody's looking on Google. These accounts, and since I don't have anybody on the show, I'll go in and I'll tell you guys, they're made first and foremost walking through the door. Secondly, from a referral from somebody you're already doing business with. That's the way these people, a lot of them do business. And then through their organizations, not pressure washing organizations, through their own organizations, BOMA, CAI, International Shopping Center Association, all these different associations. If you're dealing with grocery stores, they have about 27 different guys. So this gentleman right here, John, he's going to come on my show, and he makes it. LinkedIn is a very good place. John, we'll just ask this question: do you belong to all those organizations within LinkedIn that are available to you to join? Because the organizations that I just showed you, if you go look at my profile, I belong to CAI, I belong to BOMA, I belong to the Shopping Center Association. So inside of those groups, there are groups inside of LinkedIn that you can talk to all of them inside of LinkedIn. those are the place where the gold happens, because people are actually interacting in there. These are customers that are interacting in these groups like we interact in our Facebook groups. If you get real salesy in there, though, you will get thrown out. So you've got to walk in there a little bit tender-footed, and you got to add value. You got to add value inside of their group in order for them to accept it, and then they get to know you. And everybody, when you post, man, they always know what your intentions are. They know what you want. They understand that you want to do business with them. That's not an issue. People, when you walk through their front door, they understand that you want to do business with them. There is no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. David Dennison, I got a Longhorn Steakhouse once or twice a month. Google, Facebook, Suck Me Dry, and also Dead in the Water. Well, you're saying you got that through a Facebook ad, or you're saying that you walked through the front door and you got it? I'm confused. Maybe you can clarify that for me. So, not yet, but just starting to build it up, taking a course tomorrow night. Yes, hopefully Robert will give that advice. I know that you're taking the course from Robert Strada. I know he took the course from, not saying he copied Marco's course. I know he took Marco's course too, and Marco has a very good strategy on LinkedIn as well. Marco doesn't give his courses out anymore. I tried to get Marco to do one. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even do it for me. So I don't know. Maybe he'll do it some other time in the future. But right now he's just not interested in that. So getting back to that, guys, that's how you have to do it. I mean, 99% of the time, if you can get an introduction to a customer that you want to do business with, and first and foremost, you've got to start with writing down the 7 to 10 most important customers that you want to do business with. And a lot of guys out there will, want to go, right, I want to do the Grant Cardone. I want to 10X this thing. These are not 10X customers. If you want these types of customers that are going to do, $100,000 annual deals, $250,000 annual deals, $1 million annual deals with you, they are not going to be 10X'd, okay? If you're 10X'ing somebody like that, they're going to understand you're a 10X guy, and they're not going to give you the time of day. These types of customers that you're going to go after in the commercial world, and the reason I say only start with 7 to 10 of them, and 7 to 10 of them, you may work yourself personally for up to a year, up to 18 months. We'll get into the reasons why that is. But you have to understand that only 1, 2, or 3, even 2 of these customers can change your life, okay? Because you're not going after a Longhorn Steakhouse, which is a $2,000 or $3,000 annual account. You're going to go after a $300,000 or $400,000 account. Now, something that I always tell guys out there that are out there trying to go after commercial accounts, guys sometimes say, well, I want to win a $1 million account. I turned down a $1 million account. Won't mention the client, but I turned it down because it was going to cost me $400,000 and some out of my pocket to gear up for this account. And at the time, that capital just wasn't available to me. And a lot of guys will say, well, I'll go out and get the capital. Well, the fortunate thing is I didn't, and this customer wound up, they wound up canceling that account within a few months after they awarded it to somebody. And I felt badly for that guy because I knew what he had to do to gear up towards that account. I can talk about this one because these were 2 friends of mine, and one of them might even be listening to this because he belongs to the CETA organization. There's a stadium here that is very popular. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's one of the newer stadiums here that was built back before 9/11, and they were asking a ridiculous amount of money for washing a stadium that holds 40,000 people. And I completely passed. I had two friends that back to back went out and tried to, you know, well, they went out and got this deal. One lost it, went filed bankruptcy. The other one, the second one, lost it and filed bankruptcy. The third guy finally made money with it, and I think that they realized that, hey man, it's not enough money, it's not sustainable. But that happens all the time, and that's why it's so important when you're talking about those bigger $1 million contracts that you understand what you're getting into. And this is my whole point of this thing, and I kind of got off track with it, but you need to try to go after the type of contracts that you can handle. If you can capital a $80,000 annual contract, you can obtain that, sign on the dotted line, and then you can go ahead and you can perform and do that work and get it done, and you've got, you're solvent and you can take care of it. That's a great place to start. You can gradually maybe work your way up to $140,000 contracts. My sweet spot for my entire business, because I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, I liked $80,000 to $150,000 annual contracts. That's what I like to get. I wanted as many of those as I could do because I got comfortable being able to facilitate that. If we had to come up and jump up and put that online, we didn't have a problem starting that, And sometimes, they were challenging because it was 100 and some units maybe or something like that. When I say units, locations. And that's very difficult. The Walmart for 1.2 that I turned down, oops, I let the cat out of the bag on that one, was only 22 stores. 22 stores. But the amount of capital that I had to get to do them was, it just wasn't worth the deal for 22 locations. People don't realize that the Walmart contract in 2008, just nationwide, was $172 million. $172 million. Today, it's got to be skyrocketing up there. Let's see, David, what do you got here? Ads suck me dry. Why do I feel like knocking on residential doors seems desperate? I just can't do it. I wouldn't knock on residential doors. I would go out there and knock on commercial doors. What does that mean? Wow, working out of my garage storage unit, I wouldn't be able to upgrade to do such accounts. Yeah, well, I mean, so we'll tell everybody this. Everybody will be doubtful of this number here. So if you could get 64 Longhorn Steakhouses at $325 per month per location, okay, that's $250,000 account, okay. And I'm not saying there's 64 Longhorn Steakhouses. I'm saying there are 64 restaurants in your area. Everybody has 64 restaurants. Everybody does. I'm just done. $600 test graffiti removal jobs, potential range account, worth tens of thousands of dollars, just knocked out this week, and get them all. Yeah, that's just got to keep going after it. That's just what you got to do. Well, I didn't have anybody join me tonight, and that's okay. No doubt about that. So it's okay. I'm gonna retire early then, since nobody felt like joining. But I will be doing this every Sunday night. I think I'm gonna change the time though. I think I'm gonna make it 5 p.m. Pacific time. That way later at night on the East Coast, because a lot of these guys are back on the East Coast. Lots of them. But guys, remember, I want you guys to remember that John Tornabene will be at the CETA show. And I don't know if his class is free or if it's not free, but September 25th is his class, 11 3:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So that's 4 hours. He's got a 4-hour class. Check it out. I will get the details from him on Wednesday night. Wednesday night, he's going to do that. CETA, again, 35 years, guys. 35 years celebrating it. Largest pressure washing organization as far as manufacturers and distributors on the planet, guys. Gonna be a lot of fun, lots of fun. Guys, if you're out there tonight and you're wondering, guys ask all the time what I use for maintenance. I use F9 Groundskeeper. That's what I love for maintenance. I love Double Eagle if I got some tough grease. But we all know, guys, that if you guys are using hot water and you're doing maintenance accounts, detergents are really something in special applications, but certainly not for cleaning sidewalks. It's not something you're going to use a lot of. It's going to be dirty doorways, rear doorways, service doors, things like that. Storefront doors typically are not dirty unless they have a restaurant. So if you're doing shopping centers and things like that, and you got hot water, that's where the magic is in the hot water, guys. The magic's always in the hot water. But looking forward to it, guys. I'll be at CETA next month, 25th, 26th, and 27th. I'm gonna look forward to seeing you guys all there. We'll see you later, William. See you later, Dennis. Thanks for coming in, John. Bert, thanks for watching. Edgar, good seeing you here. We'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a great night. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First, CETA.org. Get signed up, guys.